Then we have Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. It's a spiritual master of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And he's the closest disciple of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he didn't have any disciples. The only disciple he had was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and still he didn't try to accept any of disciples because he was that deep himself into chanting. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati came to him, he said that my father asked me to come to you so that I could become your disciple. Gaura Kishore Das Babaji said, no, I'm not accepting any disciples, and so a few times Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati could come back home, and his father Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if you won't become his disciple, don't go, don't come back home. And then after another time he asked Gaura Kishore Das Babaji to become his disciple. He said, what's the point of my life if you won't accept me as your student, as your disciple? And he said, okay, I'm accepting you. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his father of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and he's the founder of program of spreading Krishna consciousness in English language. We can talk a lot about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was judge. He was the president of temple in Jagannath Puri. He founded and organized that in India they would start learning English in schools. He was the one who founded it. He asked government. He translated a lot of books into English, and he sent it to England, to Europe, so that they would read it, and they appreciated it very much. He opened Mayapur. He found the place where Lord Chaitanya was born. And also he saw in meditation this planetarium that's now in the process of building. Then we have Panchatattva, our beautiful Shri Panchatattva, Lord Krishna Chaitanya and his disciples. If we would call them from left to right, then we have Advaita Acharya is an avatar of Lord Krishna. Then expansion Lord Nityananda. Then Lord Chaitanya himself in center. Then his inner energy Sri Gadadhar Pandit and Srivas Thakur, his perfect devotee. Panchatattva. Then we have another image, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda rised, same as sun and moon, to this world to make all the darkness fade away. Then another image. Gopi haven't seen Krishna for a long time, and on a Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna appeared with Lakshmi Devi, and in such form they saw him, and they couldn't approach to him because they didn't understand this form of him, the form of king. So they saw this kind of form on the Kurukshetra. Then Advaita Acharya, he was offering to Lord the water of Ganga and leaves of Tulasi. In this way he wanted Lord to come to this world, and that's kind of meditation he had. He was worshipping Shalagram Shila, and this Shalagram Shila still is in Mayapur, in a place near house of Shrivas and there the Shila still exists and they worship him. Then another image when Mother Yashoda is not relating to Krishna as God. She is looking at him like he's her son, and she is feeding him and caring about him. That's how devotees painted. For some people, Krishna is God, but for someone, he is a dear son, and this is one of sacred secret or mysteries that Mother Yashoda in spiritual world is an expansion of Radharani when Radharani wants to be in parental relationships with Krishna. So that's how she actually is caring about him like his mother. She wants to feel this mood of being a parent, being mother. Then how Lord Chaitanya came to earth, that's how he saw Krishna with his disciples. He was preaching the religion of this age. He was preaching love and devotion. And in material platform it looks like this, but in his spiritual mood he saw Krishna and the Radharani as they served to Krishna. That's kind of meditation he had. Then another image, it's on Shvetadvipa. Lord is there sitting on Ananta Shesha. Also there are some images where Lord Vishnu is laying in meditation. And Hazrat Muhammad saw him in this way when he was laying on a throne. It's described in Bhavishya Purana. There this Hazrat Muhammad saw the Lord, and he said that he was so beautiful that he couldn't even see his face, but everything else he could see. Then Lord Nityananda came to dream of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and said, "O Krishnadas, go to Vrindavan, because there you will have everything you are aiming to." That's how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is watching him, because he came with his disciples also. Then Lord Chaitanya and his disciples, that's how he was chanting and dancing, and that was his meditation. When he was like a teenager, he even at that time he started to melt hearts with these kirtans. Then Prakashananda Saraswati, he took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by the hand, and with a huge respect he put him into the center of assemblation. After Lord Chaitanya took the sannyas, and how everybody is listening to him. And when they were listening to him, their mind changed and they started to chant Hare Krishna. That's how he preached, and he said that all the sannyasis will become devotees of Lord. And the last one, there's a kirtan. When there was a lot of people, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rised and chanted Hari Hari, and people were responding in the same way. So that's how Lord Chaitanya was dancing, and everybody else would dip themselves this process, and there was not enough place there for everybody, so some people had to go to a river. Then we have Adilila. At the start we, as always, see Srila Prabhupada. We always pay our obeisances to him. Sometimes I do it this way. When I take the book, at first I look through the images. Sometimes I can, after that, run through some chapters, and only after that I can dip myself into it. And sometimes, some years ago when I just joined, only the third and fourth cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam were printed, so I took them just to watch images. And devotees were like kids. When I took the new book, they started to look through the images because it was very interesting. You could see all this universal form of Lord Krishna, some planetary systems, different deities, very interesting. And so Srila Prabhupada comes the first one. Then we have Panchatattva, another one, like new one. And I found this picture and I brought it to India, and there I gave it to Stapati, who created our Panchatattva, and I gave this picture to them, and they made our deities, because we wanted to make this classical form of Panchatattva. The supreme source of energy comes to enjoy 5 types of leelas. The next image, illustration, in the temple of Govindaji, thousands of devotees non-stop serving the Lord, who is sitting on a golden throne, surrounded by precious stones. The ones who were in this temple, and now it's in Jaipur, but on the image it's still in Vrindavan. And there in Jaipur, Govindaji was given the whole palace so that he could take worshipping there. Next. This is the place that's situated in Mayapur, Western Bengali. It's the place where Lord Chaitanya came to our world. And here's the illustration. Just near this tree, Lord Chaitanya was born. Just close to this tree, this house, and this place was actually found by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And also there's a temple of Lord Shiva on the left. He is watching the whole Mayapur. Next one. That's the worldwide center of ISKCON in Western Bengali. What we actually see here, this building, it still exists. It's working now. And there's the temple of Radha Madhava that we see. They are still waiting to move to a new temple. Then another image. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was praying to Madana Mohan so that he could give him a blessings to write Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Brahmana put a garland on Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami as a sign of this blessing. Then Lord Chaitanya manifested his form Varaha in a house of Murari Gupta, who was the 21st branch of family of Chaitanya. And there Lord Chaitanya manifested this form to him. It's Varahadev who is saving the earth. And here's Lord Chaitanya gave a lot of mercy in this form. Then Shikha Mahiti have a dream that Lord Chaitanya hugged him after he walked into a form of Lord Jagannath and then went out of it. That's the kind of dream. Sometimes devotees will have such kind of dreams, and the more the level of devotee is, the more real these dreams will seem to them, and some time will come when you won't be able to understand which is truth and which is a dream. Then Sita Devi is wife of Advaita Acharya. She saw little small Nimai, and she noticed that he looks like Krishna from Gokula, but the color of his skin is different. And they came to him with a lot of presents and gifts. And there's a small Lord Chaitanya sitting there, a small boy. And Shachimata is incarnation of Mother Yashoda. Then Shachimata took from Lord Chaitanya the soil, and he tried to explain himself. We remember this pastime, and that's the simple conditions where Lord was living. Everything was very simple, village. So all the worlds, all the priceless things in this world he has, but he's enjoying very simple things. Then there's an image where Lord Chaitanya came to the bank of the river, and he took all the offerings that they prepared for Lord Shiva, and he said, "You should worship me." And they saw the Lord in him. And he said, if you won't worship me, I will curse you, and you will have and you all will have very old husbands who already have a lot of wives. Then Lord Chaitanya told his parents about his dream. If you remember, his elder brother Vishwarupa, he asked him to go away leave the home and take sannyasa. And they didn't quite like his dream. But Vishwarupa is incarnation of Balaram. And then Advaita Acharya asked Lord Chaitanya to show him the universal form, same as he showed to Arjuna. And Lord Chaitanya showed this universal form to him. Then, while Lord Chaitanya was in ecstasy, Baladeva, all the devotees were dancing. That's the mood that Lord Chaitanya had, and Lord Chaitanya asked Yamuna to come over, and everybody were so surprised that Lord can do such things. When it was evening, Lord Chaitanya came out of home, and then he separated all the devotees onto 3 groups. And then the last image in this chapter of Adilila. Lord, that's the talk between Lord Chaitanya and Kazi. For that you said these three names, three holy names, you can consider yourself the most lucky person in this world. Then we take another book. Now we have Madhya Lila. Same we have Srila Prabhupada in the beginning. All his images describe how he is giving lectures, and devotees take these pictures and put them on the altar so that they could always be in the mood of Prabhupada. That's temple Gopinathaji in Orissa, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lost his consciousness after he told the story of Madhavendra Puri. Kshirachora Gopinath deity. When the Lord hid the sweet rice. Then there's Jagannath temple in Jagannath Puri, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested a lot of his pastimes. It's not that easy to come to this temple, because white people are not allowed, and actually no one can come there except for Hindu or maybe Muslim, but if they are devotees. And by some miracle, I could enter and go to just to come to first step, because I stayed there and I understood it. I just entered the spiritual world and went out at the same time, because I felt like it's not the right time. They asked me to leave this place. They asked, how did you ever manage to go that far? And he said, I came here and I'm not going to go away. We spoken a bit with security, with some elder people from this temple, and they said that I'm giving a hard time to people. Next image, it's Radharani and Krishna here. And we don't have this image. There's an image of Radha and Krishna and 6 Goswami, who learned some Vedic scriptures, and they were able after that to explain a lot of details about Krishna in their stories, in their books. When Lord Chaitanya came to the state of ecstasy after reading the text, Sri Rupa Goswami fell down to the ground as a stick. And the next image, where the news about Lord Chaitanya that he decided to go to Vrindavan, and this news came to Nrsimhananda Brahmachari, he started to be very happy, and in his mind he started to decorate the road to Vrindavan for Lord Chaitanya. That's the meditation that he had. And that was actually very real. Next,
Nityananda Prabhu в шутку сказал,
Nityananda Prabhu
подписана иллюстрация,
said as a joke,
мой желудок так и не
my stomach
наполнился,
is not
забери свое
filled yet.
угощение. Я даже не притронулся к нему.
Took your feast, I didn't even touch it.
В притворном гневе бросил перед собой горсть риса.
And then Nityananda Prabhu threw the rice on the ground, and some pieces of this rice they were put on Advaita Acharya, and he started to dance, enjoying. Just few rices were put on him, on his body, and he started to be in such kind of bliss. Then we have Madhavendra Puri, when small boy came to him and brought him some milk. When he saw how beautiful this boy is, Madhavendra Puri felt a huge satisfaction, and when he heard his words, he forgot about hunger. That was Krishna who actually came to him. And we remember that Madhavendra Puri was the spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, and Ishvara Puri was spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. Now, following the instructions that he had in a dream, he came to deities and took the hidden rice. All the villagers came to see Gopala when he came to take Brahmana. And that's when he was walking and just stayed. And when he saw that Lord is really staying on that place, everyone fell down before him. Then we remember how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for 7 days was trying to explain Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the philosophy of Vedanta. And the Lord was just listening without any words for the 7 days. And then he said, why are you not speaking? And he said, what do you want me to say? You're listening, you're talking, I'm listening, and there's nothing interesting that you talk. My master said that I don't need to learn Vedanta, I need to chant Mahamantra. That's image when Krishna is bringing slippers to Nanda Maharaj. What a huge luck has Nanda Maharaj and all the villagers that the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself became their friends. Then, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw the image of Krishna that manifested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately bowed down, and then he stood up and started to pray to Lord. He received Krishna and Balarama and Lord Chaitanya. We go on. Next one. Again, Srila Prabhupada we have. Very serious. A lot of compassion. We also pay our obeisances to him. Then we have altar on the same place where Lord Chaitanya was talking to Ramananda Rai. We can see the prints of lotus feet of Lord Mahaprabhu. And then we have
идет Тирупати, если кто-то был, да,
Tirupati, if
Тирупати,
some of you were there,
одно из самых известных
that's one of the
Индии,
most popular places in India.
Читания в своем паломничестве.
And Lord Chaitanya was there
Баладжи, да, храм Баладжи.
as a part of his pilgrimage. And also we have Balaji. That's actually is pure gold. This huge structure is made of gold, and they say that this gold is not from material world. When Lord appeared on the altar, at the same moment, a golden Viman came from the sky and gave this gold. Then we have Sri Rangam. Some of you could be there, could visit this place. That's the South India style of building. It's not actually the temple itself. The temple is different, that's just the fence. It also has a lot of gold from spiritual world. There's the biggest deity of Lord Vishnu, which is millions of years, because Brahma himself was worshipping him. Now the deity stayed here in this place, and it's probably the biggest temple, and these are just the fence. Gates. Here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed for 4 months. Also there are the prints of his lotus feet on the next image. Also you can see it if you will be there. Also there are footprints of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and ISKCON devotees are caring about them. There's also 2 gates, they are really huge. That's not the temple itself, it's just a gate to the temple. And these gates are surrounding this temple from 4 sides. And that's the temple of Nakshmi Devi. And actually here this is not the gates, this is the temple. And this is Rameshwaram, we've been there also. That's where in the assemblation of Brahmanas, Lord Chaitanya heard that Ramana actually took not Sita herself, but just her kind of clone. And this is the gate, and on the bottom is the entrance to the temple, and you can see there the deity of Lord Shiva. As far as I remember, these are the northern gates. Next one. It's a temple on an island, Ambam, where they worship the footprints of Lord Ramachandra. That's the temple Harikesha on the bank of the river. And here Lord Chaitanya found the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. That's what devotees sing. And that's the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. Next one. Thanks to just touch of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the leper became the leper Vasudeva became cured from it. And that's the meeting of Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Both of them were really happy to meet each other. That's the transcendental Ramananda Rai. Now this Shadbhuja, six-handed, six-armed form of Lord Chaitanya. The green is Lord Rama, blue is Lord Krishna, and golden Lord Chaitanya. That's the form he showed, he manifested. That's three forms altogether. Next. Happiness of gopis is increased in 10 millions of times when they have a luck to enjoy Krishna and Radha and to arrange their pastimes. So everybody are serving their pastimes. We can't understand all those leelas, and everything there is alive, the trees, everything. Next one. Also Ramananda Rai. The moment Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to Ramananda Rai his sacred form of Radha and Krishna, combined into one, Ramananda Rai lost his consciousness, faded away from the ecstasy. Next. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu visited Lord Shiva and Durga, his wife, who were dressed as brahmanas. When he was in his pilgrimage. After Lord Ramachandra destroyed Ravana, Agni took the real Sita and took her out of flames. This is our another Acharya, one of the saint teachers who was there a few centuries before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was preaching, and Lord Chaitanya wanted to get his initiation in his sampradaya, Madhavacharya. That's the name of our sampradaya. Lord Chaitanya hugged 7 palms and sent them to Vaikuntha. When Lord Chaitanya came from traveling along South India, he assembled all his devotees and started to talk to them with amazing love and care when he came back from pilgrimage. And again we see Srila Prabhupada. Now he is smiling, he is happy. When he is talking to disciples, he can tell some story or maybe some philosophy, so that everybody will start laughing. That's how he was laughing, speaking about modern scientists, for example. That's the temple of Jagannath. In Jagannath Puri, when Lord Chaitanya saw Sudarshana chakra at first, even before he came inside. He faded away and then he ran towards this temple. And each day on Radha Yatra in Jagannath Puri, millions of pilgrims come to this city. And look at how huge these chariots are. This whole road is filled with people, and in the center, the yellow chariot belongs to Lord Jagannath, the black one is for Subhadra, and the ones on the right is Lord Balarama chariot. And you can see how everything's happening there. It's very hard to come close to this place. This happens every year. In this year maybe it will be the first time it won't happen. Jagannatha seems to have some plan. There's the temple of Gundichi. It's a very simple temple. No one's allowed to come inside. Only locals can. That's Jagannatha Vallabha's garden. It's inside of the temple of Jagannath Puri, and the next image is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was washing the Gundichi temple, and he was managing all the other devotees, and they were chanting the Krishna's holy names. The one is washing Lord Chaitanya's feet, another one is taking the water of it. You probably don't have this image here, unfortunately. I'm so sorry about it. We can show you. There's Jagannatha, Prataparudra is walking in front of Jagannatha, Lord Chaitanya is dancing. Lord Chaitanya is dancing in front of Lord Jagannath. And Lord Chaitanya was manifesting all the variety of transcendental ecstasy. Next is about Maharaj Prataparudra, how he dressed as an ordinary Vaishnav, and he was massaging his feet. And why Lord Chaitanya accepted him? Because Maharaj Prataparudra started to read the texts about Rasa Lila. And here's the chariot that's stuck, and they couldn't move it even with help of elephants, but Lord Chaitanya used his head and pushed, and that's when the chariot started to move. That's the lake of Indradyumna Sarovara. It's near temple of Gundicha. After Ratha Yatra, devotees went there and manifested a lot of games from Vrindavana. There was Nityananda, everybody there. When we were there, Panchatattva also was in a very playful mood. Next one. If you remember when Lord Chaitanya was asked to play with the stick, and they understood that he's a cowherd, and they all understood who he is. And actually, all of these personalities are cowherds. Next one. Celebrating Vijayadashami, they Lord Ramachandra conquered Lanka, Lord Chaitanya dressed as a Hanuman. He took the huge branch, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to destroy the walls of Lanka.
Далее. Так, опять что-то не то там, да? Через одну иллюстрацию, ну ладно. Здесь иллюстрация, как матушка Шачи готовит.
Here we have an illustration of Mother Shachi cooking, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming and eating everything. And that's the image where Amokha, who was severely sick, Amokha, who was criticizing Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya came there, he touched him, and he said, "Rise, Amokha, and chant Mahamantra. Then Krishna will give you his mercy." And next one, there's an illustration where at night Lord Jagannath and Balarama came to Pundarika Vidyanidhi and started to playfully slap him on his cheeks. And the last illustration in this book, as soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting in the boat, Gadadhar Pandit couldn't take this separation from him, and he faded away. You remember when he wanted to go with Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya said, "You have to stay." There, when he understood it, he felt so bad, and when he then Gadadhara faded away. It's Srimati Radharani herself, so it's so hard to witness how Lord Chaitanya is living. Again, Srila Prabhupada we have. He's giving a lecture. Then Govardhan Hill. When Lord Chaitanya saw this hill, Lord Chaitanya started to dance. That's the modern photos. There are some shilas or stones from Govardhan, and all the stones are saint, holy, and each stone can be worshipped as Krishna. Just by looking at Govardhan, people purify themselves, and you can't walk in Govardhan except for local Brijabasis. If you would want to take a small stone, you will have to leave as much gold there. Shraddha Kunda is the holy lake in Vrindavan, a very amazing place. The most elevated place in this world, even more elevated than Govardhan. First is Mathura, where Lord Chaitanya was born, then Vrindavan, because Lord Chaitanya is dancing there, then Govardhan, because in Govardhan sacred pastimes are manifested, and after Govardhan is Radha Kunda, because Radha Kunda is Radharani herself, it's the liquid love of Lord Krishna. Even great devotees can't reach the banks of Radha Kunda. Then we have Prayag. It's the place where Lord Chaitanya was talking to Sri Rupa Goswami, where Ganga and Yamuna are combined together. Also there's Saraswati river, but it's flowing underground. So it feels like it's three rivers merging together.
Здесь что-то Харидас тело оставил. Помните, да, как?
And you remember Chota Haridas leaving his body here.
Далее Варанаси.
Then we have Varanasi.
Здесь Чайтанья Махапрабху
Here
сказал,
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Санатана Госвами
told Sanatana Goswami all the secrets of spiritual science.
город Шивы, Варанаси.
The town of Shiva, also they call it Kashi.
Далее храм Шри Рада Раманы.
Then we have temple of Shri Radha Ramana in Vrindavan.
Знаменитый храм.
It's a famous temple.
И дальше
And then
где Чайтанья Махапрабху танцевал.
we have a picture when Lord Chaitanya was walking the forest of Jarikanda and dancing. And all the animals were crazy. Animals, birds, they started to dance.
Далее.
Then we go forward.
Колени шли рядом с Господом Чайтаньей. Дальше
These are deers
останавливались, они подходили.
who came to Lord Chaitanya. They had a Vrindavan Bhava.
Приближившись к Господу,
When they approached the Lord and looked into his face,
они стали облизывать Господа, не пугаясь.
males and females of deers, they started to lick his face, and all the road, all the way, they were following him. When Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the cave, he offered his respects to Nanda and Yashoda, and then, being in ecstatic mood, he touched the body of Lord Krishna. These are the deities, and they are like alive and deities at the same time. Then
Набоб стал укорять Санатану
Mob
Госвами.
started to
Я не могу решить без тебя ни одного важного дела, а ты забросил службу и сидишь дома.
reproach Sanatana Goswami, and he said, "You just sit at home, you read Srimad Bhagavatam. What are your plans?" That was his panic.
Паника такая у него. Дальше. Увидев Господа, лежащего без сознания, солдаты Паттаны
The soldiers of Patana, when they saw Lord Chaitanya, they stopped.
когда они подошли,
When they came to him, and Lord Chaitanya
так запроповедовал, что они
started to preach them, and they started to chant Kirtan and went away and became devotees. At first they tried to steal things from him and beat him.
стал танцевать прямо в
His Lord Chaitanya started to dance just in the boat,
его тяжесть накренилась и
and the boat pulled down and took a lot of water, and everybody else were afraid.
Мама Ишода
Then Mother Yashoda,
считала Кришну своим
she thought that
мамонным ребенком,
Krishna is her son,
потом решила привязать его к ступе. Он обезьянка,
and then she decided to
очень
take his restless son and bond him with a
далее.
and bonded him with the rope.
Обняв руку Госвами,
Then after hugging Rupa Goswami,
отправился
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
тут же потерял сознание.
went to his travel, and we see how he fades away here.
Дальше, увидев Санатану Госвами,
After seeing Sanatana Goswami,
во дворе дома Шри Чайтанья Махапрабху бросился
Shri Chaitanya
навстречу и
Mahaprabhu
обнял его.
ran to him, approached to him and hugged him.
Еще дальше,
Next,
зажав зубами травинку, Санатана Госвами пришел
holding a
к
grass in
стопам
his mouth,
Господа
Sanatana Goswami
Чайтаньи
came to lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Махапрабху. И в конце иллюстрация.
And in the end, it's an
В
image
сердцах всех живых существ такой Господь.
That's how Lord looks like in each and every living entity's heart. People, birds, fishes. That's how Lord Narayan looks. Next one, we again have Srila Prabhupada. He holds karatalas. By the mercy of one devotee, I was able, on one festival, I was able to play karatalas that belong to Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes they could give somebody this opportunity. Then this is the same image. It's a temple. Deities are Shri Shraddha Gopinathaji. Shri Gopinathaji is one of the main deities of Vrindavan. He was found by Pramananda Goswami, and after that, disciple of Shri Gadadhar Pandit was worshipping Radha Gopinath. Now it's in Mayapur. It was taken from Vrindavan because Muslim people tried to destroy it. Next one is Lord Brahma. When Brahma said, following the will of Supreme, I am creating the material universe, Shiva is destroying it, and he himself is holding it. That's why the main ruler of all three gunas of material nature is Lord Vishnu. The red color is a color of Rajas. Lord Shiva has this blue color, the color of Tamas, and Lord Vishnu, the white. Here's all the cowherd boys turned into four-armed forms of Narayan. And Lord Brahma, when he saw this picture, here's the four heads of Lord Brahma in right bottom. Saw this picture, and on the left there's a lot of different Brahmas who came and started to pray to Shri Krishna. And Lord Krishna smiled and dipped himself into meditation.
Это вот следует, здесь вот брамы пришли, да, с многими головами.
Here's the image of a lot of Brahmas who has more than four heads.
Все там упали сразу в поклон.
And they all presented their obeisances to Krishna. Another one. Lord Chaitanya told Sanatana Goswami, from many pastimes of Lord Krishna, his human form and human pastimes is the best. His human form is perfect. He is dressed as a cowherd boy. He has a flute in his hands, and he is an amazing dancer. And there's always a cow close to Krishna. Transcendental body of Lord Krishna is sweet, but his face is even more sweet. But the most sweetest is his smile that smells like honey. That's Krishna sitting, playing the flute.
Вот изначальная форма
And that's
Господа.
the form of Krishna.
От него же все исходят Баларама.
The original form of Lord Krishna,
Что
and all other forms come out of this form.
Махавишну, материальный мир и так далее. Но вот изначально вот такая форма Господа. Далее. Одной из самых важных составляющих бхакти является поклонение божеству в храме с твердой верой и преданностью. Здесь показан сам момент поклонения.
One of main things in service is worshiping to deities. In transcendental, never-ending Leelas, Krishna is the main hero and Srimati Radharani is the main heroes. Next one. Lord Chaitanya put his hands on the head of Sanatana Goswami and blessed him. Let all these instructions become opened for you. Next one. Lord Krishna felt bliss when he was walking with his elder brother Balarama in Vrindavan. And he was praising this holy place and Balarama himself. There's such a chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam, and here also we can see this. That's spiritual world when everybody are happy. Here you remember when Narada Muni saw the hunter Mrigari, who made a lot of animals suffer. He was putting arrows in their bodies and left them to slowly die. And there's another image, the transformation of this Mrigari, so that he couldn't even step on the ants. Narada Muni and Parvata, they came and they saw him. That's the way he changed after just one moment of associating with Muni. That's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in Bindu Madhava temple, and thousands of people were chanting Hari, Hari. And the sound was, creatures all over the universe could hear this sound. Next one. Prakashananda Saraswati, the main personality of impersonalists, he bowed down to lotus feet of Lord, asking for forgiveness. The last one. Nanda is father of Krishna, and when he shouted, "Krishna, save me!" Krishna appeared there and punching with the leg, he killed the snake. And that's how he liberated everybody. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there's the whole chapter about this pastime.
Ее смотрели? Буду сейчас ее смотреть, что ты. Вот эту? Смотрели сейчас. Да, мы еще смотрели. Шрила Прабхупада здесь у нас идет.
See Srila Prabhupada here.
Какую книжку мы пропустили?
It seems like we missed one book, probably.
Какой Прабхупада стоит? Да. Ну, да.
Yes, we missed one book.
Так, Шрила Прабхупада там.
Prabhupada is standing, and then we see
Баджан Кутир. Это
Bhajan Kutir
Рупы
of
Госвами.
Rupa Goswami, as
Да, ну там сейчас он
far as I remember. Nowadays, it's still standing there, but above
недавно построили
this
большое здание.
building,
И там
now situated a huge building.
Давайте прочитаем здесь. Баджан Кутир, место полов,
Bhajan
место
Kutir,
молитвенного уединения
the place where
Шри
Sri Rupa Goswami was praying alone,
преданного,
the devotee
получившего особую милость Господа читания,
who got the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya,
Господа. Он написал
and
множество
he
трансцендентных
wrote a lot of
посвященных
transcendental
преданного
books
служения.
devoted
Это Баджан
to
Кутир, а напротив
science of
сама
spiritual
Шри
knowledge.
Прям здесь напротив такая же вот хижина, и это самадхи, там тело Рупа Госвами.
And in front of this building
Сейчас
there's
над ними здесь
a
построили
similar
огромный
building, that's Samadhi of Rupa Goswami.
зал,
And
такой,
now
и
they
там будут
built a
устанавливать
huge building above this Bhajan Kutir, and they will place,
Поверите, вот эти
install
божества наши,
Panchatattva there. And you won't believe,
они
but
уже там стояли на алтаре, хотя
but,
там еще алтарь уже
even
построили,
before,
здание построили, крыша, там
now they
всё,
have the
всё,
whole
зал,
building, the
это
altar,
самадхи, Баджан Кутир,
everything is
всё,
there.
пришли,
But before,
нам оттуром,
the
я помню, матушка Мандакини там была,
also
и,
Mataji Mandakini was there,
её сестры, помню,
and her
по-моему, тоже
sisters.
там кто-то был, по-моему, была. Или это в другой раз, но матушка Мандакини точно тогда была.
I don't
вот
remember, but
последний раз.
Mataji Mandakini for sure was there.
Там алтарь уже
And there
сделали
was
для Панчататтвы.
altar, they
Панчататтвы
built
еще
an
там
altar,
нету,
but
уже божеств
there were no
нету,
deities.
показывают. Но мы когда пришли,
But
туда
when we
там
came there,
расположились,
we stayed there.
вот эта Панчататтва туда
This
стала,
Panchatattva
алтарь
that we
пошла,
have,
встала просто, и вот она
they
первая там уже стояла.
They were the first
Алтаре,
deities
вот,
that
да,
stand on those altar, on that
Когда
altar.
пришли администрация,
When administration
пришли,
came,
когда это увидели,
and they
они
saw it,
ахнули просто.
and they said, wow,
Сказали, вот
they
это
say,
да, и они
that's
там очень так благодарны
that's
были
very
нам.
good, and they were very thankful.
Попросили нас, чтобы мы какое-то пожертвование
They
сделали,
asked
чтобы
us to make some
достроить алтарь,
donation
алтарную, там также.
so that they could build
Преданные там сделали пожертвование,
the
чтобы
altar.
тоже внести какую-то лепту. Так что вот, ну, вот это Баджан Кутир.
So that's the Bhajan Kutir of Rupa Goswami.
Дальше божества
Next
Шиширада
one is
Говиндаджи
deities of Shri Shraddha Govindaji.
установили Шрила Рупа
They were
Госвами.
installed by Srila Rupa
Показания
Goswami.
сочетания Махапрабху. Вот этот Говиндаджи, это в Джайпуре уже стоит.
This is Jaipur,
Такой красивый.
very beautiful deity.
Дальше. Это храм
It's a temple of Shri Shraddha Govindaji in Vrindavan. But there, these deities left this bodies, this temple, and this is just a foundation, because everything that was above was destroyed by Muslim people. And this is how it looks like right now. We actually could go there, we're allowed to go. Local Brahmanas like us so much. And also it's said that under the ground there is a special deity of Yoga Maya. It's hidden. She decided not to leave. She just found her place there. One of gopis was describing Krishna. My dear friend, this teenage Lord Krishna is so beautiful that he is overshadowing the shining of sapphires. Next one. In meditation, Nrisimhananda Brahmachari saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quickly, how he quickly came, sat down and ate all the 3 offerings and left nothing after that. It's very interesting also. He saw everything in meditation. In spiritual body that looks like body of Gandharv, Haridas younger, junior, Haridas Junior was chanting and no one else could see him. Only Lord Chaitanya could see him. Next one. When Haridas Thakur gave instructions to the harlot, he stood up and walked away, and she got the perfection. And that's another image. When Haridas Thakur was chanting Mahamantra, Maya herself came to distract him, the energy of illusion. Then we see Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami. They studied a lot of holy scriptures, and they composed a lot of authorized books on devotional service, and more than that, they opened a lot of forgotten places of pilgrimage in Vrindavan. When Nityananda called Nityananda Das and he couldn't come close to him, then Lord forced him to come close to him and he put his feet onto his head as a blessing. Everybody is dreaming of this situation, but Raghunath Das was very fortunate. Next one. While walking between the rows of devotees, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya sometimes took the rice from plates of devotees and fed themselves. And as far as I remember, in this Lila of Lord Chaitanya, only Lord Nityananda could see him, and Lord Chaitanya was kind of invisible, and everybody was so surprised because Lord Nityananda took some rice and he puts somewhere and rice disappears. And that happened because Lord Chaitanya was there. Next one. Lord Chaitanya was witnessing the dance of Lord Nityananda, but only Lord Nityananda saw him. No one else could see him, only Lord Nityananda. And everybody thought that Lord Nityananda was dancing alone. Lord Chaitanya was teaching Raghunath Das Goswami, always chant holy name and in your mind always serve Shri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Next one. When Lord Chaitanya found out that Raghunath Das Goswami every day is eating the spoiled rice, he came to him and said, "Why are you eating these tasty things alone? Why are you not giving it to me?" This fortunate and very opulent person became Brahman, then he became a devotee, and he became very renounced.
Указывая на муравьев, ползавших по полу комнаты, в которой жил Господь
Pointing at ants who lived in the room of Lord Chaitanya, Ramachandra Puri said that last day sugar was here, and unfortunately this sannyasi likes to serve his feelings, his senses. And the last, Srila Prabhupada is sitting in meditation, chanting mantra very attentively. Another one, it's a tree in Jagannath Puri, place where at which Haridas Thakur became Namachari, and he was chanting holy name 300,000 times a day. And this tree actually appeared when Haridas Thakur started to chant under the sun. Lord Chaitanya wanted to help him. He came there and he put a toothpick in the ground, and huge tree appeared. It's called Siddhabakul. The tree, this Kalpavriksha, it fulfills all the desires, and a lot of once the sailors came to this tree, they saw it and they said, we can use it in building the ships. And next day they came, and just for one night it now looks like on this image, because before it was very straight, and that's why they went away, never touched it. And this tree is 500 years. And so they worship this tree. Now Gambhira is a very amazing place, the most transcendental and mysterious place of Lord Chaitanya. We were reading how he was sleeping there, he couldn't go away from it. He was scratching his face on the walls. You can see his slippers there. Gambhira is the room where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living while he's been in Jagannath Puri. And in the box made of glass, we see the slippers and his whistle for his container for water, jar. And behind the altar you see the dark window, and that was the room where Lord Chaitanya was living. And these slippers are staying there now. And people can chant Mahamantra, but this place is very mysterious and transcendental, place where Lord Chaitanya was in ecstasy there. And I will tell you the secret that Krishna Mishra Prabhu, when he comes there, he will take the part of brick from the wall, small, and then during 1 month or 2 months or 3, he is eating it. He says that these bricks, they still keep the energy of Lord Chaitanya. And he actually gave me it one time, and I felt a lot. That's the amazing place. Next one. 7 groups of devotees started to chant and play drums. Lord Chaitanya started to dance. Also we saw this when we were reading about it. Next one. After Kirtan, in the circle of his close companions, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking prasadam with his devotees, and when he said goodbye to them, he asked them to go to their homes and have a rest.
Дальше. Говинда. Помните Говинда, когда
Next one.
накрыл Господа?
When Govinda covered Lord with his own blanket and he entered the home, stepping above him.
В уединенном месте Шри Чайтанья Махапрабху попросил своего слугу Говинду дать ему понемногу содержимого каждого из
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked
и похвалил
his companion to give him a taste of every jar, from every jar, and he thanked for everyone who cooked.
Далее. Когда Шри Чайтанья
When Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
прославлял трансцендентные качества Харидаса Такура,
was glorifying the transcendental qualities of
это выдержка.
Haridas Thakur,
Дальше. Охваченный огромной экстатической любовью, Господь
filled with ecstatic love, Lord Chaitanya took the body of Haridas Thakur and started to
оставил тело Харидаса.
dance with it. It happened when Haridas Thakur left his body.
Далее Джагадананда Пандит.
Then we have Jagadananda Pandit,
Стоящий в комнате кувшин сандаловое масло.
who took the jar with sandal paste, sandal oil,
Думаешь, я тебе масло принес?
and he dropped it on the floor and broke it. And he said, "Do you think I brought you this oil? I didn't give you oil, I brought you my love." And we know that Jagadananda Pandit is Satyabhama, and she has this kind of mood.
Супруга Господа в Двараке была. В хорошем смысле слова.
She was the wife of Krishna in Dwaraka. She was like unrestrained, and he liked it very much.
Далее. Помним, да, это
Next one,
залезла
we
в
remember
Господа.
it's a woman who stepped on Lord Chaitanya.
Неожиданно одна женщина из Арисы, которая не могла за толпой видеть Господа Джаганату, скарабкалась на колонну Гаруды
Suddenly
и оперлась ногой на плечо
this
Господа
woman
Чайтаньи.
who couldn't see, she climbed onto Lord Chaitanya and held the column of Garuda. Next one.
Проискав некоторое время, преданные обнаружили, что Чайтанья
Searching for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after some time devotees found him laying down near the temple of Jagannath.
Далее.
Next, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that hill made of sand is Govardhan, and he ran towards it. There's a temple of Tota Gopinath where Gatadhar Pandit was worshipping the deity of Krishna, and it's not said how Lord Chaitanya went away. Some people say that he left when he came to temple Jagannath temple. Some people say that he went in the temple of Tota Gopinath, and he went into deities. And on a heap of deity there's still a golden scar. And some people say that we saw him walking into the ocean and never appearing again. But really what happened is that he used all these three ways to leave this planet. Then we see that Lord Chaitanya, filled with ecstatic love, and how says a fisherman caught him into this net. Next one. In almost unconscious state, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described to his disciples of his vision of Lord Krishna, who was enjoying the pastimes with gopis in waters of Yamuna. And the last one, while walking the garden of Jagannatha Vallabha, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again filled with ecstatic love, saw Lord Krishna under tree Ashoka. And then Lord Chaitanya ran towards him. Krishna smiled and faded away, disappeared. You can remember this meditation of Lord Chaitanya. That's the second part of Antya Lila.
Ну вот такой наш экскурс последний, да, подведение такое наше было итог.
That's the kind of conclusion that we have now. Maybe we will spend some time to our questions, if you have some. And after that we will finish for today. So if you have some maybe questions, you can send them to technical department. If they will get them, I will spend some maybe 30 minutes to answer them. And at the moment,
Я, может быть, вкратце, так, просто прям сжато.
Now I will
Я планирую написать свои реализации.
I plan to actually write my own realizations from first marathon, Srimad Bhagavatam, and this marathon also. I will write some kind of essay of what I think, of what I plan. It will be my offering towards spiritual master and all the devotees. And in short, I can say that I feel so much the dependency from devotees. This principle of Sankirtana Yagya, when we do everything together, that's what I really wanted to accept deep in my heart and practice it in life, because Yuga Dharma of this age is not only chanting holy name, it's when we do it together. Actually, if we won't make it together, we don't have a guarantee that it will help. I can tell you that a lot of people in India, they chant holy names just by themselves, and they can do it for years. And after that, you come and he's not practicing no more, and you don't see them. Then after some time you come back and you see them, but they are not chanting. And I was so surprised, people in India in such a situation, but that's because they don't follow the instruction of Lord Chaitanya that we have to do it together. In this marathon that we have, at first, because we do it together, our team organized it, we managed to have a lot of devotees and friends of devotees and just searching people. And together we actually felt like this marathon was easy for us. And that's also a kirtan when we read. Prabhupada also said that if you read my books, you have to understand that you're hearing my kirtan because I chanted this. That's my kirtan. So Sankirtana Yagya is very powerful And that's what I wanted to feel, and I think because of all the devotees, of all the participants of this marathon, I think I was successful in this. That's to tell it in short. And we have 3 questions and 20 minutes, so maybe it will be enough. Елена is writing, Hare Krishna, accept my obeisances, please. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, a lot of times it's described how body of Lord Chaitanya is changing because of ecstasy. Should we consider this to be a lesson for us, or what should we understand? Because Lord Chaitanya came to this world to show an example, but I can't understand what's the example or instruction when he is changing because of ecstasy. Yeah, we have to understand that this can happen if you're doing this sincerely. That's the symptom, because body stops following the laws of material world and it's holding because of spiritual energy. If you take a person and take his joint and spread it, and all the joints, you take them and you put 20 centimeters between them. Lord Chaitanya had his body like 3 meters. And that's the symptom of spiritual energy. It's not that Lord Chaitanya says that we need to have this goal. It's described to make us prepared for this. That means that spiritual energy is acting. Next question. Елена. As I understood that pure devotees are always in ecstasy. And they don't realize themselves at the moment. Seems like they don't understand themselves as person. And no, they always see themselves as a person. They don't think they are this body. That's the whole thing. But they always understand that they are personalities. Inside they feel this state of bliss, and you can't feel it if you're not personality. Soul is always person. Natalia is asking, a few times in texts it's said about his afternoon responsibilities. What are these responsibilities? Brahmanas 3 times a day, they chant Gayatri mantra. When spiritual master gives initiation, he gives this mantra. Back at those days, spiritual master would give a Brahmanical initiation at first time, but now we have these 2 types of initiation. And it meant that 3 times you have to chant the secret Gayatri mantras that Guru gives to disciple, and due to these mantras, disciple goes to spiritual world. 3 times a day, every day he is chanting these mantras. Women are not given the Brahmanical chord, but men are given this chord and they chant using this chord, this type of chords. And 3 times a day you have to chant the mantra. And if you take sannyasa, you have to do it in the water. That's very good method. It makes mind very calm and lets you make it attentively, chant attentively. And it takes some time, maybe 10-15 minutes. Some chant faster, some chant slowly, but it takes from 10 to 15 minutes, and that's the spiritual responsibility. And you chant it 3 times, when sun is rising, when sun is above, and when sun is hiding. Marina is writing. Why Lord Chaitanya and his disciples were trying to awake him from his ecstasy? Because every time he was talking about his feelings. And if you won't awake him, he will stay this way. He will just lay down, and still a lot of his companions, they were thinking about him. They saw that he wouldn't come back, and they didn't want to be separated from him. But also it's his lila, it's his pastimes. Because how do you know what he saw there in his meditation, in his ecstasy, if you won't awake him? How to know what he's feeling, what he sees there? He's just laying down there, and still his companions, they see him suffering. If he would fall down in ocean, they won't say, "Oh, let him be there, we won't awaken you. You just swim there." No, they wanted to have him close, they wanted him to eat prasadam, to chant kirtans, to dance, so that he could love everybody, so that he could give his association to everybody. Because if he will stay in this type of bliss, we won't get anything from him. We won't know anything about his state. Imagine Lord Chaitanya was born, he chanted Hare Krishna, and he faded away and lost consciousness. When he was 2 years old, and when he heard the sound of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he felt this. And when Guru gave him initiation, and he would fall down and just stay this way, we wouldn't know anything. That's the one side of it. And another side is his lila, because that's the way he wanted, so that everything is under his control. He stays in the hearts of his disciples, and he makes us do this. It's not only their will. Just their body, Lord Chaitanya owns their body, and he makes them move. That's how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said that you makes me, Ramana was saying this to him, you make me speak, I don't know what would I say, you put words in my mouth. That's the lila, that's his pastime. He enters this bliss, and then his disciples take him out. That's his pastime, his play. Dmitry is writing, when this basic desires leave devotees, they leave you when you stop thinking of it. And also when Krishna will be satisfied by you. You chant attentively, you cry in separation, so you put spiritual desires on the place of these dirty basical desires. They won't leave you. Svetlana is writing. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, they describe in details Srimati Radharani's feelings, loving feelings towards Krishna. These feelings usually belong to a feminine nature. And this way or another, every woman can understand them. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.11.33 in purport it said that living entities have feminine nature. But why then in many traditions having been born in woman's body is not very good? You see, you don't have to downplay the woman's nature. Women stay on even more elevated position, because Lord says that after me you have to glorify Mother, because she is giving birth to your body, in which you can perform spiritual evolution, only because of Mother. And as for your question, why in many traditions they don't glorify women this way? First, only foolish people don't understand the powers of woman's body. I wouldn't say that when I say foolish is an offense. That's just the fact. When we say that children is a fool, it's not an offense. When we say that cow is a foolish animal, it's not an offense. Cow is a saint. She's holy. We should worship cow same as we worship Lord Himself. If you worship cow, I take it as worshiping for me. But still, we can call her foolish. That doesn't offend herself. Sometimes she's walking and I had this experience. I walked through the gates and I saw the cow that's walking, and she went for me, and I closed the gates and she came, and it's very easy actually to open these gates, but she couldn't do it. She was just standing and watching and couldn't understand how did I pass these gates. And she's like asking me, how did you do this? She's watching me, like asking me these questions. And she tried to look, but she couldn't understand, and she just turned away and walked away. She didn't felt offended. She just walked away. That means that she's like foolish. The same with people. People who say that women are lower than men, they are foolish. The value of women is that woman gives the birth. But still, let's see this topic, why it's not really good to get born as a woman. First off, it's very hard to progress in woman's body, because women's psychics is 9 times more powerful than men's. And this mind is very sensitive, and it's very hard to stay without without defense of husband, son, father. She needs someone to calm her down, and when she's saved, when she's defended, she will make a progress, but alone she won't be able to do this. I wasn't woman in this life, maybe in previous somewhere, but I feel like a woman's body is not the easy one, because it brings a lot of problems, a lot of troubles. That's another moment. Also another moment. From woman's body, it's not 100%, but it's very hard to go to spiritual world from women's body. It's a rare case. when woman is worshipping 100%, by the mercy of Guru she can go away. But most of the times, woman, after being attached to a man, and when she's meditating on her man, she will take a birth as a man next life and will be able to progress. When she will be thinking about man as a defendant, because it's hard sometimes to think about Lord himself. Devotees can do it, but simple people won't do it. And when women are not practicing spiritual knowledge, next life, woman is getting born in next life if she is attached to men. She will get born as a male animal, in a consciousness of animal. So it will get birth of animal. Same thing with man. If he will think about woman, if he is devotee, he will get birth of woman. If he was thinking a lot about women, about enjoying women, he will get born as a woman. Because this woman's body can feel more enjoying from food, from many other things. She feels more enjoying from sex, from socialization, from sounds. And when man is thinking about enjoyment, he gets the body of woman in next life so that he could enjoy. Yes, he will stop developing, and in next life, after this life, he maybe will become animal. So it doesn't mean that if you were born as woman, it's unfavorable. That means that you have some disadvantages. But only foolish people will be rude. I just tried to answer this question as much as I know this. But you don't have to think that woman is something bad. The soul has the feminine nature. All the souls have feminine nature because they enjoy. Female is trying to enjoy someone, but men are trying to be the ones who enjoy. But God is the only one actually who can be enjoyed, and all the other souls, they try to bring enjoyment to Him. But actually the ones who try to enjoy Krishna has more enjoyment. And that's actually how Krishna is watching us. He's looking at us and think, it seems like they enjoy even more than I do. And that's how He gets the nature, the mood of Radharani. And he starts to do it, and he understands, yeah, that's it. Radharani enjoys even more than I do. That's why in spiritual world, in any world, souls can have the body of man, but still the mood is to bring happiness and to bring enjoyment. Marina is asking. Antya Lila 1748. Only the most fortunate can hear
что 4 вида звуков,
that
подобных
4 types of
речи Кришны,
sound,
звона его ночных колокольчиков,
nectar of speech of Krishna, sound of bells on his feet, his voice and the sound of flute. But those who never heard these sounds are useless. So how do I hear these sounds? You chant Hare Krishna mantra. Dear Marina, that's what you have to learn, and that's what I say to all the participants. If you ask how to get to some level, that's the answer. You chant Hare Krishna mantra. You don't search for any other methods. You don't think that anything else will happen. You will just waste your time. You will waste your time, yes. Sometimes they come to me, some devotees come to me. Oh, you see, there's the kind of practice, I do it, and it's very good. It's meditation, asana, and I feel this, and I feel that. And that's what we have to do. And this way they lower the level of Mahamantra, because if you chant Mahamantra, it will be opened by itself. Krishna is moving our ears, is ruling our ears. No one else can do it. So, if some demigod is ruling our senses, yes, demigods are doing this, but they all are under Krishna's control. But if Krishna wouldn't want, there's no demigod who can force us to hear something else. So when Krishna wants, demigods won't be able to contradict. Just listen to the sound of transcendental mantra. It's a spiritual sound. That means that Krishna himself is there. That means that there's his smell, his smell that made Srimati Radharani drunk. And this smell can come out of your mouth and can go to your ear, and you can feel this sound, this smell. And you will have the vision to see Krishna. Just because this method, you have a tongue and you have ear. You chant and you listen. That's the mantra. And everything will be opened. And also you need to have a huge faith in this. You don't have to believe in anything else. Maybe somehow through things you can open is, you will be able, you will have to hold it. And you will think that I support this, I maintain this, and I'm the one who has this power. And then it will become finished because you made some few steps and you saw, you killed some microbes or killed some ants, and you actually lost the holiness that you have, the piety things that you have. So if you will maintain these other methods, you will be proud of this. You will think, I'm Vishnu, because only Vishnu is supporting everything, is maintaining things, and you will think that this way, and you will fall down. That's why you don't have to imitate things or imagine something else. You just chant Mahamantra and everything else will open. You won't lose your time. Krishna will be satisfied, Guru will be satisfied. And our life is very, very small. It's not too long. We won't be able to do anything by ourselves during this life. Sometimes we have plans. Oh, we will have a progress. What kind of progress do you think we will have? Our life is invisible. We won't achieve anything by ourselves. I heard it and I feel it, that what kind of progress are we talking about? We are unfortunate. We have this 100 years of life and we live 60 out of them. It's not even lightning strike. You divide lightning strike into 1,000 and you get our life. But what's priceless about our life is that we can put some efforts in some path, and when Krishna looks at our efforts, he gives us what we want. It's not that he's giving us what we want, he gives us what we need. And after we will live our life, and when we will start to live our body, we will all understand that I did nothing during this life. We will turn our head and look at our life, and we won't even remember how we lived. And if we will remember, we won't remember anything useful. Why are we still here? Why are we not in spiritual world? And Lord Chaitanya says why we are still here. Because we don't have love for Krishna. That's why we're here. Lord Chaitanya says that if I had love for Krishna, I wouldn't be here, I would be dead. Because how do you live without him? You can die without object of your love. But if I'm still alive, that means that I don't have a love. If I would love purely, I wouldn't understand why would I live here in all this madness. But if I live, that means I don't love Krishna. And that's why we chant mantra, but we don't have life because we're still chewing this mantra. But Guru and Krishna is the two main figures in our life, two main objects of meditation. And Guru says, follow the principles, serve devotees, read books of Prabhupada, read holy scriptures. Don't wait for results. Don't get attached to result. And still you won't get anything. But just because Prabhupada said that I will give you this piety, because this life is very short, I will give you all this. But stay on the path. Just stay on this way and continue chant mantra, follow principles and do everything. Because even if you do something, you won't surprise any one of wise people, of munis. It's like someone is playing dolls, some kids are playing with his toys. Would you, being a grown-up person, be surprised? No. But if kid is doing what he needs to do, if he's playing with toys, he gets all the blessings from the parents, because parents are satisfied by his activities, because he's doing right what he needs to do. And imagine you grew up, and they say that you grew up because you were playing dolls, you were playing your toys, and you played so good that now you're a president. You won't see it anywhere. And we are like kids right now, but still, when kid is playing toys and parents is satisfied that they are doing what is required from them by their nature, that's when he gets all the blessings from parents. That's how Krishna from our hearts is helping us. He gives us the faith to act according to our goal. And still, in this short life, you won't do anything to achieve this goal. We can't even imagine where we want to go, this spiritual world. If we will read Brihad Bhagavatamrita from Sanatana Goswami, this path that lasts from here to the whole Goloka Vrindavan, and it's so long, it's so hard. Even Brahma, the creator of the universe, when he saw Gopakumar walk into spiritual world, he fell down to his feet and he said, Gopakumar, please, you are devotee of Lord. I'm just a Brahma, I'm just a living entity with 4 heads. And I call myself a creator, but you are a pure devotee, and you go home. But I need to stay here for so long, and you're on your way there. Please help me one day, please. I want you to take my responsibilities for one day, please, for one day. You're a pure devotee. You're very merciful. Help me, please. And Gopakumar never thought of it. He says, Brahmaji, of course I will help you. Of course. And Gopakumar was Brahma for one day of Brahma. He was the creator of universe. Before he was Indra. Before Indra he was someone else, and he was walking by this steps, by this ladder. And what are we talking about here? I will remind you again. When you hear these things, you don't have to worry about it. You should listen what Guru says, what's written in spiritual scriptures, and you just try to do it. It doesn't mean that if we do this, we get something from it. We just do it because Guru is asking me. That's all we need. But when someone says, don't touch my nature, I want to do creativity, I want to be an artist, don't touch me, I have astrology, I have lines on my hands, I want this, I want that. Don't make me laugh, please. What you want. Tomorrow you can die. And in your horoscope it said that tomorrow you will die. And all these things, give me my nature, respect me. That makes me laugh. Listen to Guru, listen to your mentor, listen to senior devotees, and just try to act accordingly, and try to calmly walk this path. And don't try to touch someone else. Don't bother anyone, because it will be very hard for you to keep going after that. You take a piece of grass in your mouth and you just chant, be humble, be respectful, serve, be shy. That's the qualities of saintly person. Be educated. They will inspire you, they will notice you, but don't be the one who is trying to achieve the perfection. Try to achieve the lotus feet of Guru, because only through his steps you can come close to Krishna. There's no other way. No other way, no other way. Just Param Guru. Just pure chain. And please make some efforts to achieve qualities. You don't need to achieve any kind of pious activities or something like that. Just we were given the holy names, and we were given the most valuable thing. For millions of lives, we were saying about different awful things, nonsense. We were mewing, we were mooing, we were barking, we were doing all these things, and all this barking is somewhere in our bag. And Krishna and Lord Chaitanya are so merciful, they give us the holy name and they say, please chant Mahamantra. And we do it like this. And of course, we have never chanted these names. And he's humbly asked us to say this. I saw it actually. When I was distributing books, I was asked people, please chant his names. Why do I need to chant them? No, please, just it's very good activity. I don't want to do it. And people don't chant, not because they don't want, because they don't have this pity in them. And still they do a lot of interesting things. They don't have the pity for the most valuable things. And Krishna, by mercy of Guru, he can give us this. Just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and everything will be opened, everything will be good. By just chanting one name of Krishna, you can burn all your sins. Why a lot of people, a lot of devotees, they chant the whole life and have all the sins, Because they don't do it in a pure way. Being humble, being respectful. Oh Radha Krishna, please make me act in devotional service. I want to serve my Guru, I want to serve Prabhupada, I want to serve people, devotees. And don't think of anything else. You don't need to think about something else. I don't think that something else will be opened in Hare Krishna. Just ask for devotional service. And that's what we want. The purification of heart, the cleansing of heart. And all this dirt goes away because it actually prevents us from hearing this sounds. This dirt actually is what prevents us from hearing. How do you hear this sounds? Marina is asking. Clean your heart, and not this pump, this material heart. Our mind covered us, the soul, and it's the hardest thing to clean it from dirt. You don't need something else from external life. You don't need the third eye to open. You don't need anything else. Just chant holy name, and this third eye will open by himself. Because we have it already. We also already have all these sounds. We just can't hear them because we have this dirt. So chant saint name, holy name. We were singing Shikshashtaka that starts, who will remember? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. What does it mean? Cheta means consciousness. Darpana Marjanam means purification of heart from dirt that stayed there, that filled us for the long, long years. That's when it starts. And everything will be opened, all the Vedas will be opened, all the mystical powers will open, all the Brahman, you will see yourself as a soul, you will see the Lord in your heart, everything will be open just because of this. Sanatana Goswami was walking to take to wash on Yamuna, and he was walking to the temple. He was living on the bank of the Yamuna, and every day he was walking to the Yamuna. Then he was eating some simple things, and he was writing. And Lord came to him, he said, "Why are you eating such simple things?" Madana Mohan was saying this. And he said, "If I will give you some salt, you will ask something more, some sweets, but Mahaprabhu asked me to write, so please, let's leave it this way." And Madana Mohan liked it very much. But everybody was speaking that some saint person is living there. He's mystical, but he didn't do anything mystical. But they said, he's very interesting, he's very mystical. And some other local mystic, he wanted to go check. And he said, "Sanatana, people say that you're a mystic. And I haven't ever seen that you're doing something mystical. I'm mystic. I can do this, I can do that, I can disappear. But you, I have never seen you doing something like this. And I'm doing these mystical practices for the whole life and maybe some few lives. But I have never seen you doing this. Maybe that's lie. Show something, show me something." And Sanatana wasn't even looking at him. He was just coming there, bringing toothpick, cleaning his teeth, brushing his teeth and walking away. And the next day he stayed. Also, this mystical man came and started to ask him. And he brushed his teeth, as always, and he went away. And the next day this mystical person came, and Sanatana Goswami just took this toothpick, he looked at him, and he just felt, he just sat on this toothpick, said Hare Krishna, and just went to the another bank of Yamuna. He stayed, he stopped, he brushed his teeth, and that mystical person faded away. And he continued, Sanatana Goswami continued to write down things. So all you need is Hare Krishna and everything else will be opened. Because holy name of Krishna has everything. All the energies are there. All the energies are kept in your name. It's the part of Shikshashtaka also. If you will make it short for this question, I'm so sorry that I went too far, maybe in this. But everybody who needs it, he will take the valuable information out of everything I said, because I tried to talk to everybody when I was answering this question. And I wanted you to become inspired that holy name has everything inside. Because Krishna will do everything from inside. I don't know, Marina, if I answered your question properly, but at least I tried. Can women take sannyasa? What's the difference between sannyasi women and sannyasi men? Yes, rarely they can do it, even during life of Prabhupada they did it. When they were wife, when they had a family, when they understood everything about family, after that they understood that you don't need this, there are things more interesting. And Mataji Mandakini told us about Mother Yamuna, one of first disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who was a very powerful preacher. She went to England to open centers there, even before Prabhupada came there. It was few families that went there, Mataji Yamuna and Guru Das, they were a couple. Then Mataji Malati, she was one of the speakers, and her husband, Shema Sundara Prabhu, who went to Russia with Prabhupada. And Mukunda Maharaj, and also I forgot name of his wife. I will remember later, I will ask Mataji Mandakini, maybe she will write down something because she's listening right now. And there were 3 families that went to England to preach there for Prabhupada. And at some point Mataji Yamuna, she will come to Prabhupada and will say, Prabhupada, can I take sannyasa, please? I can't take it anymore. I don't have a taste of family life. I want to be preacher till the end of my life. I don't want to think that I'm this body. I want to take renunciation. Prabhupada said, and what does your husband think about it? She said, he's okay. Guru Das Prabhu came to Prabhupada and Prabhupada asked, how do you think about it, about her desire? And she had white sari, that means that she's renunciated. She's like sannyasi. And Guru Das said, I'm not against, it's very good actually. And you, what will you do? And he said, I don't know. He said that you need to become sannyasi as well. He said, okay. And Prabhupada gave to both of them sannyasa. And as far as I know, Mataji Malati, she's also sannyasi. She's renunciated personality. I had a fortune to talk to her a few times, and you can see that she's not, that the body belongs to woman, but consciousness is sannyasi. And she's in bliss. She's not in this world. It will be harder to be sannyasi in a woman's body. But if you're surrendered to Krishna, it's okay. Besides, you understood a lot about this life. But still, it's individually. But if you ask this question, yes, they can. Okay, thank you so much for everybody. Questions are finished. Maybe we will try to continue this form of questions and answers. I don't know how often we will do it, because we need to have some break to understand everything, because we have a lot of different preaching activities to do. So our battle team needs to have a small break, because it's the second marathon, and people still, in the start of the second marathon, people were saying that it's very hard. But still, if it's Prabhupada Lila, still they try to help. They're fearless. They're very hard. They're very powerful. They understand that it's more important than enjoying the break. So they need this break. Maybe they need some responsibilities to do, so that our preaching activity will be continued. So as soon as we will understand the situation, we will realize everything. The information will appear for the questions and answers of this type. And if the meditation will appear on some other meditation or some other event, we will let you know. And I think we will continue this marathon. We'll continue to socialize. We're family. We won't get lost. I will continue to give lectures in live format. And when this situation with this virus will end, we are inviting you to come to us offline. You can visit our cow farm. Devotees planted 2,000 pumpkins. So that's very interesting. So we're ready for a lot of people to come to us. And everything goes on in very beautiful, natural situations. Devotees are caring about cows. So if you will have a desire, you can come. You can come and see for inspiration, so that you could see and understand that it's working. Before, they said that, oh, you talk too much about these firms, but you don't have any results. And it was very hard to listen to all these things. And all I could say is just wait, give us some time. And no one believed in this, and now we have something to show. You can come and see. And that's the Panchatattva owns all these things, all the people, all the fields, all the cows, and when we think this way, everything will happen. All the projects will be successful if we think that everything belongs to Panchatattva. So we want to do something very good in this short lifetime. Thank you so much for this marathon. Tomorrow we will meet each other in the morning. It will be the last class for Chaitanya Charitamrita, and tomorrow we will have closure of this marathon. So see you later. Thank you so much. Goodbye.